Hi viewers, Purple Celery here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Boom, the third episode of Series 14/Season 1 of Doctor Who, and there will be spoilers ahead. Overall, I was excited for this episode because it was written by Stephen Moffett. Overall, I've enjoyed the episodes that Stephen Moffett has written. When he's on fire, he delivers plots that are clever and twisty. I like his witty banter and the general sense of wonder that he brings to his stories. So, did Boom deliver? I'll start by talking about the things that I really liked about this episode. Number one was the setup. Now, I am a sucker for episodes which have a ticking clock and episodes which are known as bottle episodes, that is, they're confined to a particular space. In this case, we had both. We had the Doctor standing on the landmine, which was about to go off if he didn't find a way to stop it, and it was also enclosed or contained within the crater. I really enjoyed the high stakes nature of this episode. Overall, the serious tone for me was like a welcome change from the general silliness of space babies and the complete weirdness of the Devil's Cord. I also liked the double meaning of the title, Boom. Obviously, it refers to the sound that a landmine makes when it explodes, but in this case, it also referred to the fact that the business of war, with all its technology and weapons and algorithms, was also booming. I didn't mind the main twist of the episode, namely that the soldiers weren't actually fighting an enemy per se. They're actually fighting against their own hardware. And I liked the message that they were basically relying on blind faith to conduct their war. There was a nice bit of foreshadowing in that in the early scenes we saw the soldier Vader with his eyes bandaged, symbolising the blind faith that these soldiers had. In some ways, the tone of this episode was almost quite cynical. It was like a real dig at not only business and war, but also at religion. So, moving on to the ending, for me, this was a bit of a letdown. It felt a bit stale, it felt a bit twee. Stephen Moffat has, in previous episodes, relied on the power of parental love to basically save the day. There were those episodes, I believe, in Series 6, Night Terrors and Closing Time, that had similar endings in that the love of a parent for their child was what eventually saved the day. So I was actually quite disappointed that Stephen Moffat rolled this trope out yet again in this episode. There were a couple of aspects that slightly annoyed me about this episode. The first one was how the two soldiers, I can't recall their names at the moment, kind of like broke off from their tasks to have a conversation about how they felt about each other. I was like, come on guys, the landmine's about to explode. Stop talking about how much you like each other and just get on with things. But the second thing that annoyed me was the bit which involved the discussion about Ruby's next of kin. That was when Ruby was on the ground injured and the ambulance robot thing was scanning her and was seemingly about to reveal who Ruby's next of kin was. And it seemed that Ruby and the Doctor were both keen to see what the ambulance spot would say because they thought this would reveal who Ruby's biological parents were. But here's the thing, next of kin doesn't always have to be a blood relation. In this case, Ruby is adopted, so legally speaking, her next of kin would be her adoptive mum, Carla. I'll give Ruby a pass for not knowing that because she's young, she's 18, might not understand the legalities of it. But there's no excuse for the Doctor. So yeah, that part did frustrate me a bit because it should have been obvious who Ruby's next of kin was. It should have been her adoptive mother, Carla. It shouldn't have been her biological parents, put it that way. There were, however, some really nice moments in the episode that I enjoyed a lot. The main one that comes to mind was where Ruby refuses to throw the, I don't know what to call it, it's the urn, not urn, the remains of Vader across to the Doctor in the crater. She insists on stepping into the crater up close to the Doctor and handing it to him. And I really admired her bravery for that. And I also loved how the 15th Doctor was basically, oh, if we survive this, I'm going to be so cross with you. That was a really, really lovely moment, which emphasised the bond that these two have. I also liked the visuals of this episode. The final scenes with the planets in the sky and the rings was really, really beautiful. Overall, I feel like this episode, about 2/3 of the way in, was tracking to be 8 out of 10. But I do feel in this case that Stephen Moffat didn't quite stick the landing. The ending was too pat, too repetitious for my tastes. So I feel like this episode for me was more of like a 7, 7.5 out of 10. Having said that though, it has been my favourite of the 3 episodes so far. But as always, these are just my thoughts. I would love to hear, as always, what you guys think. I always enjoy reading your comments. So please share your views in the comments section below. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And I will be back next week to review what seems to be a somewhat Doctor Light episode. Anyway, we'll see. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, take care, and catch you next time.